I'm Bill Eddy, and I'm speaking here to the State Services Authority about high conflict people and high conflict behavior and some tips for managing them, because they do get very problematic and catch people by surprise. So this is a solution in many ways to coping with them. And some of the key traits of people who have high conflict personalities are they get really stuck in all or nothing thinking. They often have a lot of unmanaged emotions. They get upset and seem to overreact to situations. And they often engage in extreme behaviors, maybe spreading rumors, complaining, getting angry in your face, sending nasty emails, those kinds of things. You often don't know they're coming and they catch you by surprise. But the other thing that's important to know is we all have high conflict behaviors occasionally, and it's people who repeatedly engage in these kinds of behaviors that we say have high conflict personalities. So the methods and tips we suggest are to manage anybody who's upset, whether they have a high conflict personality or not. Some of the research I talked about during the seminar was been on the brain, and that we actually have two different styles of conflict resolution. We have the left brain style, which is more logical, using words, problem solving, planning ahead, all of that. But the other that we often don't pay attention to is the relationship style. And that style may also be real defensive. And the defensive brain, which seems to be more right brain, is getting stuck, getting angry, overreacting, because it feels like it's a life or death struggle. So when you're talking to somebody that feels like it's a life or death struggle, and yet it's just a problem to solve, you have to calm down that right brain defensiveness. And that's not the only thing the right brain does. Right brain's creative, all these good things, but that seems to be the location of defensiveness. So think of right brain defensiveness, calming that down, then you can do logical problem solving. Well, I would say in a nutshell there's 6 things. The first is don't take it personally. It's not about you, it's about them and their inability to manage emotions, problem solving under stress. The second thing is don't focus on insight. Don't try to lead the person to get it, to see your point of view. They're not going to get it when they're real upset. It's better to focus on calming them. And that's the third point, and I actually call it the CARS method, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th points, is try to connect with them with empathy, attention, and respect. That kind of moderate, calm tone, showing interest, even in an angry person, tends to calm them down. It's the opposite of what you feel like doing, but it tends to really calm them down. The second tip is analyzing, is help them make a choice, make a proposal, write a list of problems or solutions. It gets them thinking more in the left brain, and that helps them solve the problem. The third is responding to misinformation or hostility, and it's tempting to just escalate with that. But instead, we encourage using BIF responses, brief, informative, friendly, and firm, and this helps keep it calm, contained, rather than reactive. And the fourth is setting limits. And you need to set limits with high conflict people, personal limits, organizational limits, by telling them the reasons for it, external reasons, not because they're being a jerk, but because we all have to follow this rule, and that's just the way it is. So it's not personal. Don't make it personal. So calm them down with empathy, attention, and respect. Help them analyze, respond to any misinformation, set limits, and that seems to be most of the time successful in managing them. But also realize there may be a new problem after you manage that one, so just get comfortable using these methods over and over and over again. Generally, the best case scenario when you're dealing with high conflict people is you manage the person. You don't succeed at making them go away, and you don't solve all their problems. to just focus on managing your relationship with the person rather than ending the problem. If you can manage the relationship, you can stay calm, they calm down, and your life will be easier. They might be back again, but just do the same thing over again. Oh, I really enjoyed speaking to this audience today. They really were fascinated by the topic. The feedback I got is they really like the brain research, but also tips for managing people. And several people say, I wish I knew this before, because we feel like doing the opposite of what I suggest. But what I suggest, we've been testing and trying out, seems to work, and they were very receptive. So I really enjoyed my stay here.